What's up, everybody? It's another Monday night. Um, what is the date today? It's the 16th. There are so many great birthdays of such amazing people that I know coming up, and it's just been a whole month of just celebrations. My birthday is coming up January 20th. We are having a meetup in Florida, January 19th. It is a capital raising party. We're going to teach capital raising, we're going to teach multifamily, and we're going to celebrate some birthdays. Delray Beach. Nick, post the reservation or the sign up link to join us if you're in Florida. Definitely come check us out. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be lots of food. I think it's a cash bar, something like that. It's at a cool place in Delray Beach called Honey. So Nick is going to put the link in there. If you have not registered on there, do so. Do yourself a favor and come hang with us. We have people flying in for that, which is amazing. You know, this past year, 2022, has been awesome. For those of you guys that are new on this call, I am your host, and I have my protege here, Nick. He is also your co-host on here. Nick is 16 years old. He is a general partner in 500 units, and all the money that he is making with us, he is reinvesting back into deals. So, did I mention he's 16 years old? Yeah. So all of you guys out there, there's no excuses. All right. If you think you're too old, if you think you don't got enough money, if you think you don't got enough time, you got to put those excuses somewhere else because it is not going to serve you. So what else? Some other updates. Oh, January 18th. I think there's about 1 or 2 slots left. If you are in Vegas or near Vegas, we are doing a property and downtown Fremont area tour. So I'm kind of just doing a little bit of intro as more people are joining the call. You know, being on time is late. Being late is still late. So thank you guys for being here. You know, those of you guys that were early, those of you guys that witnessed the teen call, it was very powerful. There's some things brewing there of a teen mastermind that is going to be created. Really excited. There's a kind of a course, a platform that's starting to be laid out as well. So January 18th, 1:00, we're going to be touring a bunch of different properties. McGinna, welcome. So we're going to be touring that. Other things. Let's see. If we are not friends on Instagram, or if I have not followed you, take a picture of this or take a picture of yourself watching this or whatever. Tag me on Instagram. Everybody that has tagged me in Instagram, I have followed back. So yeah, it's let's the floor for this year is to have 100 people on these calls. All right. Last year that was the ceiling. It was a low goal that I set for myself. Once we broke it, it kind of just stuck around that number. So yeah, we're going to have some great speakers on Monday nights. They're lined up coming up in the next couple of weeks. But for now, you get me. And we have a really great conversation today about creative financing. How do you do deals with little or no money down in the multifamily space? That will be the main focus of the Legends Equity Group this year because it is a buyer's market. This is not a time that sellers dictate to you the terms in which you will buy your deals. All right, there's a recent deal that somebody brought up. They're like, oh my God, there's so many offers in the deal, but they're only giving you 10 days due diligence period, 30-day close. What was it? It was a $30 million deal or something. I'm like, nobody's closing that deal in 30 days. All right, they're being unrealistic. They're waiting for somebody that's got a 1031 exchange cash to buy the whole thing, because just to get the debt on that thing, you're not closing that in 30 days. Yeah. So, every time when the market is like towards buyer's market, this is the time where you can dictate terms. And the best terms that you can dictate is to start asking about, will the seller consider some sort of creative and seller financing? All right. Oops. So how do we do that? We have a couple deals. We did a couple deals last year with seller financing. We have a deal that we are going to get under contract this week through seller financing. I'll tell you guys how we did it, the step-by steps of how we got there. And if you think you're too new, that is also another limiting belief, and put that out the way, because we're mentoring somebody. There's a person in our mentorship group that has been in this for 2 months, killing it, found like 3 awesome deals already. We have LOIs in for both of those deals. He has talked to at least 10 different brokers. It's just about doing it. It's not about looking good. It's not about looking perfect, right? Like, you got to look stupid first. Get it out of the way. All right. And when you have a community or a team behind you, the confidence in which you will be speaking to the brokers will be much different than the way that you're speaking to them now, or the way that you're not speaking to them now. All right. Because I bet it's super for a lot of people. They're like, okay, how do I underwrite deal? How do I find a deal? And the fastest way is to pick up the phone. Pick up the phone and call a broker, right? If I was to go into a market that I didn't know at all, I can look on Google and do all my research on it. I can start looking at deals online and try to figure it out. Or I pick up the phone, I find a listing, I look at the 3 different brokers that are on there, I call all 3 of them, I ask about the market, I ask about the deal, and then I ask for a management company. Hey, we're going to come into this area. We're coming into this area. We're going to break into this market. We have deals, blah, 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 and all these other places. So if you hear my calls long enough, you'll know the deals that we have. We have a deal in Fort Pierce, 278 units. We have 42 units in Savannah, Georgia. We have 42 units in Houston. We have 174 units in Macon. We have 30 units that we're going to close on in Las Vegas. So these are different markets, and you can see it. And as I talk about it, you can leverage those when you're speaking to brokers. And so practice, it just takes calling. So the broker's like, oh, okay, well, he's pretty serious. They've done deals around. You want to control the conversation when you're speaking to brokers. Okay. And I'm getting to the creative financing part. I know I posted that this is what we're going to talk about. But if I was to go there, what I would do is call the broker, ask about the market, ask about the deal. Then I would say, hey, if I'm, once I buy this, is there a management company in which you would recommend when I take over? Because I'm not gonna be self-managing this. The management company is going to manage it. So they give you a referral to a management company. You call the management company. Hey man, we're looking in the area. What kind of rates do you charge? What kind of services do you offer? What do you think about the area? What's the best place for me to be buying in I don't know, let's say Murfreesboro. In Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right. I know some of you guys are looking there. So yep, there he is. So you ask that. And then now you got information from the broker, and now you're picking information from the management company. Okay, you're learning about the market. Then you ask the management company, hey man, besides the broker that referred me to you, I really appreciate that he or she sent me to you. Do you have anybody else that you would recommend that I reach out to? Any other brokers? Yeah, sure. Give you another broker. You call that broker. Hey, this management company referred me to you. We're looking at a deal here. This is the deal that we were looking at. We're talking about, you leverage that conversation with the management company to this broker. Now the broker is going to give you a whole bunch of stuff that he knows or she knows. So now look, in one day, maybe it's only on 3 phone calls. In 3 phone calls, you probably learned more about the market than you could looking at deals and doing online without picking up a call. So those of you guys that are just resistant in making phone calls because you're afraid to look stupid. You have to make your mission, okay, your mission of understanding the market, finding the deal, way more important than your fear of looking stupid. And then you go and then you do that. Then you call that broker. Hey, besides the management company that referred me to you, you got another management company? We like to look at different options. Like, can you refer me to some more? Maybe I'll give you 2. Then you call them. In 1 day's worth of work, you could have 10 different connections in that market, a collection of their knowledge of the market. In 1 day, you could literally become an expert in a market. Instead of sitting around for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, man, I need somebody to hold my hand through this. You don't need anyone to hold your hand to call somebody. You can do it. They're people. They're trying to make a living. They got bills to pay. They got kids. They got family. They got sports teams that they like, right? Just find it. Poke around. And you'll find that very quickly, it was the easiest thing. Once you thought it was hard, after a couple phone calls, you're like, man, this was easy. This is actually really fun. Because each call you make will give you, open new doors for you, new opportunities. You will have results. Brooke in the house. So yeah, that's how you do it. And then when you start to work with the team, you start to find out, oh, here's the buy box. This is the criteria that they're looking for. I spoke on the phone today with 2 brokers that one of our students put on a Zoom call with me. They're 2 great brokers from Marcus Millichap. And we had a great conversation. They're like, hey, what's your buy box? I'm like, okay, well, I want any deals that you got in the multifamily space, in the storage space, under 25 million. I want, in these locations where I have boots on the ground. And the guy's like, yeah, that's really smart of you. I mean, things that I'm laying out there, I'm dictating the conversation. I'm not waiting for the broker to say, you got proof of funds? What's your credit score? All that stuff. I'm just dictating the conversation. I know where it's going. So then I'm like, you know what else we want? We want to close 20 deals this year using creative financing. How can you help me do that? He's like, oh, besides these deals that we have listed, what we do is you tell us the market, we will go look at their debt. We will go look at multifamily and storages. We're going to look at their debt. And if it looks like they have a small enough debt that you can assume or that they'll entertain seller financing, we'll go get it for you and present it to you. I'm like, okay, great. One of the brokers was like, hey, we should have them sign like a non-disclosure form. And the other one's like, no, I think, they really know what they're doing. We're trying to develop a relationship. I don't think that's necessary. Because before that, I was like, reputation is the biggest thing in this game. See, I dictated the conversation. One broker wanted me to sign an NDA, and the other one was like, no, that's not necessary. So all of you guys are getting stuck on these things is because you didn't have the confidence and you don't have the team behind you to give you that confidence to speak in a way that gives the broker confidence in you to close a deal. A lot of confidence in that sentence or multiple sentences. It comes down to confidence. Confidence comes with, your competency, your knowledge, the team that you have behind you. Like, it's super important. So now, how are we going to do a creative financing, seller financing type of deal? Wait, before I get into that, want to introduce one of our teammates from a different team, Massive Capitals, Jasmine. Hey, Jasmine. And Jasmine was a guest speaker on our call a couple weeks ago, and it was a killer call. Everybody loved it. So, hey, Jasmine.
Hey, everyone. Good to be here. Excited for today's call. Hello, guys. For those who doesn't know me, I'm Jasmine. I'm with Massive Capital, and I have a few deals with Alex and, of course, Massive Capital. I do investor relations. So if we haven't connect, I'm gonna put my contact information. Let's connect. If there's anything that you guys need help, I'll be more than happy to assist you.
Yes.
Yeah, Alex.
Thank you. Massive Capital is a direct partner with us, the Legends Equity Group. And we have really, really above and beyond good relationship with them. Basically, every deal that we do, if it's not going to be seller financing, we're going to bring them in. So yeah, I look forward to very.
Mike brings the cash. Alex brings the flash.
Don't
And
worry,
Mike
I'll bring
brings
the
the
cash. I'll bring the capital raise and all that, and you guys sign on to these big loans for us. So Massive Capital, great. I think our two teams, you rarely see two teams work together like the way that we work together. So it's been a pleasure working with you, Jasmine, and everybody in Massive Capital. If you guys don't know, Legends Equity Group was actually named after one of the key members of Massive Capital, who to me is the legend, Mike Bailey. I don't know if he's here right now, but if you guys don't know Mike Bailey, definitely get to know Mike Bailey. He's the legend. He gave me the shot into the multifamily space. Yeah, and a year down the road, here we are, almost 900 units as a general partner, all because somebody believed in me. And that's
Except
what
for me, that was Mike.
yeah,
Mike gave me my shot. So
the
yeah.
freaking legend, right? So
Yes.
I want to do that for everybody on this call. This is, everybody that has, this Legends Equity Group background, that if you ask any of them at any point, if you connected with them, like this is I don't even, words fall short in what we're creating in that community. All right. So we are going to be opening up a new invitation to 100 new Mastermind members into our group starting tomorrow. The call is at 6 p.m. Eastern for a Q&A. We will demo what our community looks like. And yeah, Nick, if you're here, Nick's probably doing his homework. Always doing his homework, man. Put the interest registration link in there, please, Nick, if you hear me. So yeah, that's gonna be tomorrow.
I'm
6
back. I'm
p.m.
back.
Okay, great. Can you post that in there, please?
Yes, I was gonna get my Chinese food.
Getting his Chinese food. It's always Chinese food, or it's physics homework, or Italian homework.
Yeah.
School's getting in the way, bro.
It is homeschool me.
Yeah. Okay, so creative financing. How do we go about it? Right? A lot of people try to go around the broker, and we actually made this mistake in the beginning. Let's get around the broker. And when we went to the property, we talked to the owner, and we're like, "Hey, you open to it?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm open to it. I'm super open." And we're trying to talk to the seller direct. Mistake number one. The seller is working with a broker. At the end of the day, the broker's suggestion or recommendation will weigh heavier than yours. All right. So you got to work with the broker to get them to open up that possibility so that they'll recommend it to their seller. Because that's going to be way more powerful than anything you can say to the seller. We offered this awesome win-win. The seller really loved it. And then all of a sudden the broker was like, obviously felt like we went around him and was like, no, I don't suggest you do this. So he ended up not doing it. And we lost out on a seller financing deal that way. We still closed that deal. And he is holding some of the loan, but just not one that we really, really wanted. We ended up having to raise an extra $1 million because of that mistake. So that was $1 million mistake. So here you go, $1 million nugget right there for you guys. Work with the broker, open up that possibility with the broker. So this past week, it's a small deal, $1.5 million on a deal. We found out that the seller has a $300,000 debt. So our suggestion is we can pay off your debt for you. You hold the loan. We'll pay your asking price. We're not even gonna, if you have anybody else come, you're probably gonna end up selling the deal 1.2 million, 1.1, whatever. I'll pay you what you want. and you hold, I'll give you 300K. You pay off your loan. You hold the rest of it at 5% for the year. That came out to somewhere between $70,000 to $75,000 a year. The NOI on this deal is $124,000. So really, we're making $50,000+ on $400,000, let's say. And what we said was, hey, we'll pay the broker fee for you too. Right? I mean, we are going above and beyond for the seller, but what we're doing is we're now going to have to raise a lot less money. And if the deal can cash flow, when you raise 100,000, then pay 100,000. Figure out a way to pay 100. If it can cash flow and it takes you to raise 300K, then raise 300K. But if we didn't do it that way, we would have had to get a regular loan, which will be, we have to come up with 900,000. At today's interest rate, we probably won't be able to cash flow this deal. So we talked to the broker. The broker's like, oh, you know what? At first he was like, no, not interested. Then we're like, listen, what if we can do it this way? And he's like, you know what? Oh, wait, before that story, we told them our group, Legends Equity Group. And he's like, wait, you guys closed this crazy deal in Fort Pierce in November, right? Like, we got it out of auction. We bought the property an hour before it went into an auction. And like, it's a story that's going around West Palm, Fort Pierce, Jupiter, all that area. Brokers know, like, you guys were the ones. And the person that's talking to the broker, he's in the mentorship with us. So we talk about our deals. He's like, yeah, he knew exactly how the deal went down. He's not involved in the deal, but he knew how the deal went down. You see how important this is? Leveraging stories, leveraging other people's times, leveraging other people's money. That's the game. If you want to create wealth in today's world, you have to leverage banks' money, leverage investors' money, leverage other people's time, leverage stories, leverage track records, figure out how to leverage people. All right. So, yeah, back to the deal. Sorry. So yeah, the broker's like, oh, that's you guys. And now he's like, you guys are outrageous. I know you guys can do this. So he's like, all right, well, you know what? First, we were offering 200,000. We're like, you hold on to your loan. We, carry a $1.5 million for us. That's $75,000 a year. Your loan costs you no more than 20,000 a year. You make 55,000. You don't have to do anything. We control the deal. And we make 55,000 by putting 200K down. I mean, that is a crazy cash flow. That cash on cash is like 25%. That's a win for us. And it's a win for him if he's trying to retire. Right? He's older. He's trying to retire. We also found out that the deal, he's operating at way too high of expenses because he's self-managing. He's got people like working there. We got software. We have property management companies that's going to lower our expenses. So we know we can lower that expense as well. Our NOI is going to be even higher than that. So he's like, you know what? I think I can get him to go for if you just pay off the loan. I'm like, okay, it's kind of silly because now they don't get 200K in their pocket. But if we pay off the loan, sure, we'll pay off the loan. We'll come up with an extra $100,000. Now we get, they get a win. They get cash flow. They get passive income from us. And they're, at the end of the day, they're making $4, $5, maybe $800,000 more than what they would have because we're paying interest only. 75,000 a year. 5 years later, that's almost 400K, right? Or 300 something thousand. Yeah, something like that. And they're also, when we refinance, they're going to get their sale price. So instead of getting $1.2 million, they're getting, what they're asking for. I think it's like 1.6 or 1.7. And they make 400,000 in that time frame too. That's a lot more money than what they would have gotten. All right. So you're thinking about this win-win. And I love creative financing space because it's fun. It's fun to think about how do we create win-win. It's not just like, here's my offer, let's sign a contract. You're really thinking about win-wins. And it's a mindset that when you start thinking like that, it goes a long way in how your relationship to people and your relationship to money will change when you start to always think that way. creative financing. It's a good practice. On top of it's a great deal for you. It's a good practice to think about. So now we got brokers looking for deals like that for us. You guys can all go out and do that, right? Or you can leverage Legends Equity Group. Join our group. Yeah, I'll pause for a second here. I know I said a lot of stuff. Does anybody want to ask any questions? And then after this part, we can roll into any other questions that you have, maybe on debt, maybe on the market, what you're seeing out there. Are deals not penciling out? Are brokers hanging up on you? What are you stuck on? What problems can I solve for you? Don't all jump at once. You can hit the reaction button and raise your hand. Ah, there we go. Jessica.
Hey, Alex, sorry, I'm driving. I just wanted to make a comment because I was on that call with those brokers and I was absolutely amazed. I didn't get a chance to tell you and how you actually managed that conversation, because we did start off with NDA and they started off kind of closed, but you were just so confident and so like laissez-faire about everything. You were just spitting out exactly what you wanted, never really asked them any questions, and I could just see how they started changing. Within 10 minutes, I just started seeing they're like, oh, you know, they relaxed, they opened up, and then they started. And when you first said creative financing, I almost saw like their heads explode, you know. But that as you started talking about the win-win and what we're trying to create and everything, I could see that they were absolutely enrolled. And wow, that was amazing. Being a fly on the wall and watching you do that absolutely lifted my confidence. I know I could do this all day, every day with these brokers.
Yeah. Awesome. And you know, the thing is, like, we can do, like, you can picture yourself doing this in a single family residential space, right? I mean, everybody can picture lease option, master lease, seller financing on a single family house, $300,000, right? That's feasible in your mind. It's no different in multifamily. You can go do that. You know, I'm actually committed to getting a deal done this year with no money down at all. And I'm actually going to attempt to do it on this this deal that we got going. So we got to come up with like 350K. Now, what happens if I got a loan, a private loan, 350K, 10% interest? That would bring my payments for the year up to 105,000. I still got about $19,000 of free cash flow by putting $0 down. I'm gonna try and do it. We're gonna try and make it happen. And I don't care about I'm not really that concerned on this deal about the money that you make or not make. The story itself, everybody should be building a grand story of your journey. Impregnate them. Yeah. You want to be building a grand story of your journey. Okay. Where do you want to go? When you look at a deal, and when you're in a deal, $30 million, you could make a significant amount of money as a general partner in there. At a $60 million deal, $100 million deals. But you're not going to be able to think about those deals because you're doing it on your own. Because you think you got some people that's got your back that you don't know if they do or not. Or brand or both. Yeah. And so if you got an entire community behind you, you're leveraging each other's wins. Now we're looking at deals 30 million, 40 million, 50 million. You know, I know Massive Capital is looking at a lot of deals like that because they got a solid team. They got a solid team. They got high net worth people. They got, you know, big loan guarantors, and they got the resources. So they look at those deals. Every one of us can get to that level, but you got to find the community or the team that you want to be a part of. All right. If you want to have massive wins, either be a part of a community that aligns with you, you know, your goals, your missions, your values, or start your own. Okay. I'm going to tell you, starting your own is it takes massive consistency, massive work. Okay, I've been doing these calls for over a year, free. And of course, I'm getting better and better and meeting new people, and it's been amazing. But it took all of that, a whole year of not getting paid at all for doing this, you know, but tightening conversation. But every time in the beginning, oh my God, is anybody going to join this call? Like, what am I doing? What am I even saying? Right? There's a lot of scary moments that before the call comes. I remember back in April, there's like 13 people on this call. And then it just started going bigger and higher. And now we have a mentorship program. Now we're 900 deals, 900 units in, you know, with another 100 something under contract right now. Like, this is, if I can do it, everybody else, you guys can all do it. So if you want to go far, you want to go big, you got to have a community behind you. If we have 1,000 people, imagine we had 1,000 people working together to find deals. In every corner of the country, we will find those seller financing deals. We will find all the best deals out there, right? Just between the 40 of us that are in this group right now, every deal that has been pitched, we have underwrote and looked at. Like, I've seen a lot of pitches throughout this past 8 weeks. Every single deal that has been pitched, we already saw it. We already underwrote it. Like, it's hilarious. Like, we're looking at it, we're like, oh, we already underwrote this deal 3 weeks ago. And then somebody's pitching it now on Grant Cardone's call. All right. Like, it's powerful. It's powerful to have numbers. And eventually, think about this. Any market that we enter, they're like, oh shit, here comes Legends Equity Group. You know, they're doing deals here. We've heard of them. They're all over. Every broker's talked to somebody on the Legends Equity Group, right? Across the country. Break down again the deal you described and how it was a win for the seller and your team. Okay, yeah. So the deal is $1.5 million. It's got an NOI of 124,000. Okay, it's a great deal to start. NOI is your income after your expenses, before your debt. So that is our net operating income. Now we got to figure out the debt. How much money do we have to raise? What's the debt going to be? We pay $300,000, pay off their loan. It's actually, you know what? I think it's a $1.75 million deal. So seller, we're not even going to negotiate the deal. We pay what you want. We'll pay the $300K. You hold on to $1.4 million. All right, you hold it. Give us 5% interest for 7 years, interest only for 5 years. And when the market turns and we can get a good refinance, we're going to pay you off. You get all your money. Okay, you get, if think about this win. If somebody was to go in and buy it today in the market now, they're going to offer 1.4, 1.3, $1.2 million. They're taking a $500K loss right there. $500K in 5 years, $100,000 a year. Plus, if we pay interest only on that $1.5 million, that's $75,000 a year. They don't really want to work it anymore, but shit, they'll take $75,000 a year for doing nothing, just holding on to a loan. They're like, yeah, we can do that. Imagine you guys do you want to take all the money, take a $500K loss, or you get $75K a year for 4 or 5 years, and then on the 5th year, get $1.75 million or $1.5 million. Right? That's a win. That's a win for the seller on big time. If I had this deal and I was 65 years old and I'm ready to retire, I'll take that in a heartbeat. So that's the win for them. For us, instead of raising $900,000, we raise $350, $375. Cash on cash, big time. Right? We still have $50,000 after paying the debt. 124,000 NOI minus 75,000. We got $49,000 of free cash flow on $350,000. That's, that's a 15% cash on cash. That's a sweet deal. and we only have to raise 350. We could come up with the money ourselves and do it. Or let's see how we can do it with no money down. Right? I mean, how awesome is that? If you can do this deal, get no money down, pay somebody else $35,000 for $350,000 private loan, 10% a year. Now it's 75,000 plus 35,000. That's 110. You still got $14,000 a year that you make with no money. Anybody can do this. If you have shit credit, if you got, no experience, and you have a team behind you that can instill confidence in the seller, then you can do this deal. It's not a big deal. Now, you're probably not going to get too much seller financing on. Actually, you know what? We are seeing some institutions and big players offering to hold certain percent of loans as well now. But most of the times you're looking for the person that has owned the property for a while. They don't have that much debt on it. They're just kind of cash flowing this deal, but they're working it. And they don't really want to work it anymore. They want to spend more time with their kids and travel and just sit on their butts, stare at the ocean waters or something. I imagine that's what I'll be doing at 65, but somewhere in another country somewhere. And I would take that deal. Free 75K. Just without doing anything, just bang, bang, bang. I'll take it. If you had 10 deals like that, imagine you had 10 deals like that over your course of your life. You got 10 deals like that. You sell them all like that, $750,000 a year. It's a win. See, when I think about a win-win, I think about it in terms of, if I was on the other side, would I accept this deal? And you know where I picked this skill up from? Monopoly. Anybody play Monopoly? Like, when you make trades with people, I used to always say, dude, I would take this deal if I was on the other side. I mean, probably not, because I know I'll be closer to winning, but it's still a win. It's still a win for them. And I always think, all right, win-win. See, you're going to get this property and I get this. I'll give you 2 properties for your blue. It's a win for you. And they're like, yeah, okay. I'm closer to getting a hotel. Cool. And then they land on my blue with a hotel on it. My boardwalk. And they're like, man, we're never trading with you again. When we start playing Monopoly or Risk, everybody teams up against me. And I still win.
I'd beat you though. I'd beat you.
Nah, we'll see. We'll have a little Monopoly. Oh, you do win in Monopoly deal.
I win Monopoly deal and in real Monopoly. Okay.
Oh, I think it's like beginner's luck, because you didn't play Monopoly deal when we started playing.
No, but I still win every time we play after that. That's what you said the first game I won. Then I won the second game.
All right. Lucky. You're 16, dude. I'm not trying to take advantage of you and beat you up like that.
Oh, you should though.
But okay, well, next time though we go to a conference, bring your Monopoly deal, and we'll play.
Okay.
Okay. So where's JJ? Is JJ here? We have this 1,000 subscriber challenge. Who's playing in that? Is anybody in this YouTube 1,000 subscriber challenge? How many people? Ryan's in it. No, you can't. You already have 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, so here's the challenge. If you have under 200 subscribers on your YouTube channel, we're doing a challenge in our Facebook group, so which you can find in our QR code in the corner right there. So make my screen bigger, take a picture of it, join our Facebook group. We're doing 1,000 subscriber challenge. Okay, questions? What's YouTube? So we're going to actually have if we don't have a lot of questions, we're going to have a good amount of time to network today. I know a lot of people love this portion. And for you guys that are new in this call, what ends up happening is you get broken out into smaller rooms, 6, 7 people in there. You get to introduce yourself, get to make the connections, maybe, and often you meet the exact person who's got the key or the answer to helping your business go to the next level, to finding a partner in a deal, something. All right. That's always happening. Breakout rooms rock. Yeah. So come on. Give me some questions about what you're stuck on. What's your challenges? Unless everybody's just like killing it in the game right now. And I know that ain't the truth because 90% of the deals that we're looking at are not penciling out. How many deals can you look at by yourself? See, that's the power of numbers. We can look at 100 deals in a week.
Yeah.
BB,
Oh,
hey.
so go to BB go.
Hi. Okay. Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Yes, he just made mention of something. That's why I had to raise my hands. Really, most deals are not penciling out. But I don't know what your impression is about this. This is what I do because normally I really don't like to give sellers above what their property is performing. Let's say their property is performing in a certain way in terms of the figures. I tend to offer them that. But lately it's been very difficult because it's always way below the asking price. So I decided to start using my year one. If I know that my year one is tight, I go through my rent roll and I see those rents I can push up. Especially if it's a stable property for me to increase their rent and all that. What do you think about that? Because normally it's not something that I should be doing, but in order to get some deals done, I get to offer my my sellers according to what my year one is telling me.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're not going to offer them what they want if it's not going to pencil out. You're
Right.
going to figure out if you love the deal, what is the maximum price that you can pay? Okay, to still cash flow the deal, to make sure that down the road, this has got some crazy upside for you. You got to know what you're going to do with this property. What's your exit strategy to the property? If you can exit, if you know, like some of our Vegas deals that we're like, dude, I know this thing's going to worth double in 5 years with what's going on here. All right, so we'll take going in 2.5% cash on cash. And we know we can raise the rents too. So we'll get to an average of 6%. But there's some crazy upsides on the deal. We'll take that, you know? So
Okay.
I'm going to give the broker the maximum number that we can have. Like, I'm like, dude, based on my underwriting, I'll show you my underwriting. 4.85 million is what we can offer, not 5.75. And then we got the deal, 4.85. Went back and forth for a while and we got it at that price. So, you know, it's got to pencil out for you. You can't be going into any deals negative cash flowing, even if you love it.
No, of course not.
Yeah. So if it's not working out, yeah, do the underwriting the way you're underwriting it. But you got to send out 3-4 different LOIs a week.
I do that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what's the feedback that you're getting?
No, I'm getting good feedback, but it's been a long time coming. It didn't just happen overnight. So I've been saying that LOI, I've always gotten to best and final, you know, but I have issues with giving sellers premium. That's my issue. When something I know is worth 11 million, you're asking me to give you 12.5 million. I really want to know why I'm giving you that 12.5 million. So
Does the numbers work at 12.5 million?
It depends because underwriting for me is relative. I can underwrite it in a certain way that will make it work for 12.5, but in reality, it's not going to work. You know, so it just depends on because I'm very conservative. I just like to be that way so that in case it doesn't happen, because I've seen deals that we were estimating that to appreciate to some certain level, but due to some things it didn't happen. So that's why I like to take a bird in hand than thousands in the bush, meaning that if I'm cash flowing today, it pays me off than just not having anything. Then I'm just looking at tomorrow when I know that something might happen to tomorrow. So what's your take on that? Yeah.
So here is, let me see if I can just pull up one of our underwriting deals just for you guys to look at. 1 sec.
Back on that.
Tapping.
Hang on. Okay, there is, when we're looking at a deal, right? You're gonna look at your cash flow. This is a deal that we have right now. This is very conservative for us. Okay, we're operating under 40%. And it's also like just a little bit, like a couple steps above a napkin underwrite. Okay, now when you're looking at a deal, and if you want to be conservative, we go and look at the rents. Okay, when the rents are going up, that's going to increase. It's really like this is your value add over the course of 5 years. Where can rents go? And then you're going to look at, you know, if the rents get to a certain number, you enter the property at a 5 cap rate, you're probably going to exit somewhere around the 6. Okay, in 3-5 years, whatever. So in your returns, I mean, in your exit strategy, you have to make it higher just to see, like, you want to be conservative in the way that you're exiting right here. But because this deal, we're going to be adding a whole bunch of parking spots, all this stuff, we are exiting in 3 years because our NOI is going to shoot way up in 3 years because of the extra parking spots that we're building, the extra income we're going to build there. Now we can exit based on your NOI. So if your deal is not, you know, if you're underwriting and you know, okay, well, they're $400 below market and I can get it to market in 2 years. I can get it to market in 2 years, and then we will go, you know, with the market after that. In 5 years, like you kind of want to write it, you're underwriting in 5 years or 10, whatever you want to do. But in that time frame, okay, what is your NOI going to be? And if your exit cap rate is going to be at 6%, how much will you get? And it will populate on there. What is going to be your returns on this deal? All right, this deal actually is stupid. This is our storage deal in Fort Pierce. This is what conservative underwriting looks like on this deal. All right, this does not even include all the parking, the extra $12,000 to $20,000 of NOI a month that we're going to be getting from that. So this deal is, you know, I didn't want to put 50% IRR on here, so I write it very conservatively here, but I know the upside. I know the upside in this deal. So you want to underwrite it like this, you know, like we even raise extra money, $800,000 on top of what we need to raise. We need to raise 1.5 million. We raised 2.4 million something dollars on this deal. Just for all that extra cushion, CapEx, whatever, and it's still returning this. Like, this was a no-brainer. We got this deal under contract 1 hour before it went into the auction. And this is also because you have multiple people looking at deals, and this deal came. You know, we got a whole team of people. Somebody that invested in our deal found this deal, could not take it down by herself. I was like, hey, all right, you take a back seat. I'll get this deal locked down for us. And, you know, it took $300,000. It was a good deal. We paid, think about you have this, like, I can't overpay for it. We paid 10% broker fee.
What?
Yeah, exactly. We paid 10% broker fee, and it was non-refundable day one. Like, if you just don't even look at the deal, you'd be like, no way, we're not doing that. Nobody's doing that. You're out of your mind. But look at those numbers. I'm not going to let, like, little circumstances, couple $100,000 get in the way of a huge, good deal like that. So you have to sometimes, none of your like set in stone things should be set in stone. They're not wholly true. Okay. So if you're like, the rule is I can't pay more than 3% to a broker. Nope. Take that, put it aside. If the rule is I will not pay over what I think this property is worth. If you love the property and you really believe in it, then do it. Like, you got to love the property so much that is with absolute certainty. I'm like, I will put 300K in here, non-refundable day one. And we had 30 days to close this deal. And 506B takes 14 days. So we can't even take money for 14 days. So we're doing all the soft commitments. And then 16 days left to raise, which is really only like 10 days, right? Because you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which nobody's doing anything. Nobody can wire money. So this was an insane deal that happened. The deals that we're in right now, like, I got 90 days to close the deal. I'm like sleeping. You know, I'm not even like pushing it. It's just naturally coming. Like, when you get to, like, everything should be about releasing and relieving stress for you. Like, we got to do a deal like that. We know what we're capable of doing. It was insane. All the brokers now in that area knows us. They're like, what the hell? This team came in, took it down in before the auction. Okay. I mean, you have to pay 300K non-refundable day one, 10% to the broker. None of you guys are doing it. Everybody else in any group have their own philosophy that you can't pay that much to a broker, and non-refundable. You got all these different philosophies in place that made everybody miss this deal. And now we have this deal. This deal is going to make us so much freaking money. It's insane. Right? So this is, I mean, that's another lesson right there.
Okay, my second question, or the third one. What would you advise for paying a broker? Because it depends. So I want to know your own opinion about that.
I write it into the underwriting. How much we paying the broker?
Yeah.
Usually
so
we're not paying. It's they're
Mhm.
paying they're usually paying the broker.
Yes, but sometimes to make them to incentivize them, to make them do the job for you or make you get it from the seller, you just have to give them something to do that. So what do you, because that's the 10% you just gave to them, you really did not have to do it, but you did it because you loved the deal. So what would you advise? Because 10% is a lot. So but what would you advise on the average?
Well, we wrote in the underwriting, we wrote the 10% in there, and it was still amazing.
Okay.
Like, we were looking at this, you're like, is this real? Is this real? Like, is this real? And we're like, something's wrong here. This is too good. But it's because we underwrote so many deals. As soon as we saw a deal like that, like, like, I was like, dude, we're getting this deal no matter what. I missed the flight. I was freaking in Houston at the time. I missed my flight. I was like, I cannot get on my flight right now. I need to get this money in there. And he gave us 12 hours to wire all this in there. Okay. And we just, I called up a couple of people. Hey, got 100K? You want to play? Yes, we've been ready. Like, this is why you want a team. You want a community. We just call somebody up. I know how much money they got ready to go. Right? Everybody on our team is set. Like, this is how much time I got. This is what I can do for you. This is how much money I'm willing to play as a risk capital. This is how much money I can raise. When we go into a deal, I already know who to assemble in the deal. This is peace of mind. You know, like, your people are like, wait, is the deal first or raising money first or what? Yeah, build your team first. Get your team, get on a team, and start to, lean on the people that's got the experience. Do the deals the way that you want. Like, if they're doing deals the way that you want to do them, join them. Okay, join us. All of you guys have a gift that has not been unleashed yet. Every one of you has a gift of where you're like, I don't know, maybe I'm good at numbers. I don't know. Doesn't matter. There is something that you aren't seeing about yourself that is an asset to the deal. I promise you, every single one of you. Okay. So part of our community is to unleash that, is to find the hidden potential. We actually have that as part of our curriculum. Unleash the hidden potential. And we actually have part of our call, like we have a think tank call. Yeah, there you go. We have a think tank call, which for 15 minutes, we discuss one person in the group and we're like, how do we help you deliver your message? How do we help you find your hidden potential? How do we help you monetize your message? How do we help you raise more money? Like, how do you discover your offering? Right. So now, like inside the community, we have Spanish. Somebody's going to teach Spanish, multifamily Spanish. Like, I'm going to learn all the Spanish lingo. That's what I'm doing. And somebody in our group is doing that. And we got ladies night going. We got a workout, like, 15, 20-minute daily workout going. What else we got? We got Canva every week. We got marketing every week. We got hiring VAs. We got standard operating procedures. Like, everybody's just like offering their gifts in there. You're finding it. All right, Madison. We got somebody helping manage our community. All right, go ahead, Donna.
Hey, I have
Hey.
2 questions for the, like beginners. So Grant always talks about finding deals that are 32 units or above, but I noticed like some of yours are a little less. So if you're just starting out, what is, in your experience, like realistic? Should we just go for the bigger deals or?
I mean,
Is it
so
okay?
look, some of our deals were smaller because we were a small team. We didn't really have that experience. If we were to start over and I know what I know now, I wouldn't buy those deals. All right. So Grant is real. I mean, it's true what he says, but we couldn't fathom it because our minds were still playing too small. So we
Okay.
went and bought 18-unit deal. We went and bought 24-unit deal. But now that we have 174 unit, 270, we're like, wow, this shit is way easier than our 18-unit deals. Way less stress. We didn't know what we were capable of doing. Yeah. So I would say if you're by yourself, you can't help but think about, yeah, I think I can make 18 units happen. It's kind of like what I was telling the teens. I'm like, how much you guys making right now? How much can you guys make a day? This kid was like, $50. I'm like, so if you have a goal for yourself, how much you want to make? $200. No idea how to do it, but you got to redesign yourself. It's the same thing in this 18-unit deal. Multiply that by 5. That's what you should go for. What do you have to do? What teams do you have to get on? Who do you have to know? Who's got your money? And what problems can you solve for somebody to make that happen?
Thanks. And my other question is about LOI. Like if you've never submitted an LOI, it seems scary. What tips do you have for first timers submitting LOIs?
Yeah, my first time getting onto a basketball court was scary too. And so it's just about doing it. Like, submit it. And also the fastest way is just to one of our members, Joe Gray, he's not here. He never submitted an LOI before. He just submitted his first one. It wasn't scary for him because I walked him through it. I literally wrote it for him and had him submit it. Right. So that takes all the fear away when you have somebody else be able to do that for you. When I first submitted my LOI, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, hey, John Sidoti. I'm like, what LOIs you've been using? Can you just like write this up so I can submit it? And then after I submitted my first one, I didn't even write it. Now I'm like a pro. So it's just, do it. And Donna, you've been working with me for a while and you've been on these calls. If you want to submit an LOI, just reach out to me and I'll help you write an LOI.
All right, cool. Thank you.
And it won't be scary.
Won't be scary because Alex will be behind me. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm not scared because I got massive capital behind me.
Cool.
Yeah. Go ahead, Natalia.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone. Good to be here today. I wanted to ask, so you said about bringing our gifts forward. And so you mentioned some of the things that you do with the group and the think tank and all of this stuff. Like, what would you say, any other suggestions as to, because sometimes because it's our own gifts, some of the things might come easy to us. We don't actually see it. So for another person to see it might be easier. So what are some of the suggestions so that we can start uncovering our gift and what would be the best value to bring to a team?
Yeah, listen, so instead of thinking about what do I bring to the team, you join the team and find out there, right? So most of the times, you said it, I can't see my own gifts. Good. The answer to everything is join a team. Inside the team, working with the team, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I can do that. You mean you guys can't make a Canva headline thing? I can do that easy. Right? Like people didn't notice you don't know what you know, and you don't know what the team is missing until you go and be a part of the team. And then you'll find that, wow, my gifts, that I did not think this was a gift. Now, instead of just making a Canva thing for us, I'm like, hey, why don't we teach a Canva class? Now you can monetize that too. So you got a gift. Every one of you guys got a gift. You guys got something that you can do that I can't do.
Yeah.
You got, and it doesn't have to be a skill. It could be somebody that somebody that I don't know. That's a gift right there. Jasmine, go ahead. What you got for us? Drop the nuggets.
Just wanted to add on that, Natalia. So when I came on board with these guys, I never signed up for property management. Like that wasn't on my skill set. Or that's what I thought. But these guys needed help with those smaller properties that they have in Houston. And it's like, oh, sure. Like I was selling the dream to investors, I just want to make sure so that the property performs and all that. So it's like now I'm taking pretty much over on those properties and managing the property management. And I didn't know I had those skill sets, or I didn't even know where to start. But it's just like, okay, they need me. I guess I'll figure it out, So sometimes, just like Alex said, just like get in the team and what do they need help with? And they will need help with something for sure, And you have she's a lawyer, and realtor and all that.
I know. Holy crap. You got
Yes.
all you got all the skills. You can read documents.
You have it all.
Yeah. So yeah, discover your hidden power, your inner genius. Everybody needs a lawyer. Everybody needs that, right? So, Jazz, and this is another thing too about this game. You got to have patience with yourself. Okay, when you join the team, when you're in a new space and you're starting to like get some forward movements, a lot of times we're like, man, I'm already like, helping out and I'm giving my gifts for the last 2 weeks, the whole freaking 2 weeks. Why am I not in a deal yet? Like, be way more patient. Jasmine was in it, helping us out, not in a deal for like months. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, 900 units. All of a sudden it's like key member of Massive Capital. Like what? She went from just coming in here, like not knowing what she's going to offer, help manage like some deals, right? Like doing asset management, to just being like a crucial part of a huge team. Like you gotta like.
Sounds like also like the willingness and openness to like be there, be yourself, and discover, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, just thank you, Jasmine. Thank you for that ad. Like all of you